Hello, I'm Chae Yong-sung. Nice to meet you. And I would like to talk about the polarization of a site with Yuval Harari. Do you know Yuval Harari? He is an Israel historian and a professor in Department of History at the Hebrew. He is the author of the popular science bestseller *Sapiens: A Brief History of Humankind*, Homo Deus: A Brief History of Tomorrow, and 20 Lessons for the 21st Century. Uh, uh, Harari writes about the cognitive revolution occurring roughly 70,000 years ago when Homo sapiens sprinted the rival Neanderthals developed the language skills of structural societies and ascended as apex predators, aided by the agricultural revolution and accelerated by the scientific method, which have allowed humans to approach nearly mastery over the environment. His books also examine the possible consequence of a futuristic biotechnical world in which intelligence biological organisms are spaced by their own creation. He has said the Homo sapiens as we know them will disappear in century or so. I think he is seems like a transhumanist idea, transhumanist pursuit power, super longevity, and super intelligence and super well-being. And perhaps he thinks that the future will be pursuit for that. But in his book, Homo Deus: A Brief History of Tomorrow, historian Yuval Harari warns readers of the possibility of deepening polarization of society due to full-scale digitization. Among the various reasons he cited, one was intensified class division resulting from the concentration of economic, technological, and political power in the hands of a very small number of the elite. The Israel academic also said firms utilizing artificial intelligence, algorithms, and big data will have a supreme authority over human mankind. This is certainly a grim outlook. It is a contrast of a transhumanist viewpoint, but provides a powerful and penetrating insight. Navigating through a global pandemic has rapidly altered the people's lifestyles. It seems obvious that the world is moving faster towards the area of accelerated digitalization, where big data and AI technology could serve as a central axis in post-crisis society. IBM CEO Arvind Krishna believes that COVID-19 will drastically accelerate the global digital transformation of companies. Speaking at IBM's Thinking Digital 2020 conference in early May, he claimed that the pandemic has taught companies to adapt digital innovations such as hybrid computing as AI. History will look back on this as the moment when the digital transformation of business and society suddenly accelerated. Krishna said more than 20 years ago, experts predicted every company would become an internet company. I am predicting today that every company will become an AI company, not because they can, but because they must. This movement toward the digital transformation is apparent in Korea. Over the last few months, tech companies such as Naver, Kakao, and NCSoft have become among the country's top 15 companies by market capitalization, while the ranking of traditional economic powerhouses Hyundai Motor and POSCO have fallen. Due to COVID-19, many people have been engaged in social distancing, avoiding direct human contact, while more companies are allowing telecommuting. Commuting. As a result, business in almost all sectors from finance and distribution to entertainment are seeking digital innovation. Big data accumulated by credit card companies is being used to help contain the disease by taking the movements of confirmed patient. Market observers agree that cooperate investment in big data and AI technology will accelerate at this significant juncture. It is widely expected that corporate focus and developing big data and AI technologies will intensify over the next few years. Investment by financial firms on big data processing has increased. Some financial firms have launched big data centers to delve into analyzing information to create profits. Yoon Chang-yong, the research center head at Shinhan Investment, told the Korean Times. Yet I think the economy hardware production side is still important. As a development in software like AI and big data will require updating of hardware in the coming years. IT systems such as 5G network equipment will be the first. The research had added change in the value chain system toward the onshoring. Reshoring also have to assess it in measuring the impact of advanced software. Other equity analysis suggests portfolio investments in big data and AI-based companies. Because of their expected dominance over the next 30 years. One has to deeply ponder the fact that every bit of our data is currently being saved, whether it is where we've been keywords in online searches, said Hong Dong-yu, Hanna Financial Investments Global Equity Director and Manager of the Global WM Center, the firm's wealth management unit. One of the best ways for average people to live through the next era would be to have equity holdings in major global firms that are leaders in innovation and development of big data and AI technologies. He noted he believes that the world's income disparity will increase due to exclusive data sets. Only the top of 0.1% of the world's population is expected to own most of the world's wealth in the next future. Once the whole picture is settled on who will possess ultimate dominance over big data and AI technologies, there won't be any easy way to turn back the clock, and it will be very difficult to change the economic order. Han said, underscoring the need to stay aware of changes in the post-pandemic global economic landscape. So I think that the future will be like fierce snow pierce, and the polarization of the society will be more increased. So we should depend that uh, uh, we should depend and fight the COVID-19 and the polarization of society for our descendants. Thank you for listening my word.